implies multiple voices.
Compund Melody.
Alright, so if we were to turn this into a chorale, where there's just one note per chord, we would find that he's creating his melody by saying, I want a soprano, and I want an alto note. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. Take that first measure, you've got a one chord, and if you took those notes that the singer sings, you've got a passing tone, A, so I'm going to leave that out, and say, well, the basic chord would involve a B up top, a G, and a D down there somewhere. And I'll focus mainly on the voice part. So what he's done is he's taken a soprano and an alto note, and he said, I want to use the soprano first, and then I move to the alto note by passing one, so raise your head. And this note, you see what I'm okay. So you're moving there within the chord, and he's making this melody by 1, 5, 3, 2, 1. But it's just this stuff, right? There's this raw material, and he's drawing from it. Now, when you write a chorale, you usually just have a simple harmony. So in measure 2, you'd say, okay, we've got a new chord, F sharp, A, and we have the D down there. And there's a passing tone. Do you see the G? I'm leaving out non-chord tones, chords that don't fit in that chord. So we're here with this, in that melody. The melody uses these notes, and it creates the melody by so it's moving between these different parts. See how I'm kind of thinking in a generative way? Saying here's the raw material, and I can generate the actual melody by pulling from those chords, chord tones. And the next measure, what should I do for the next measure?
D, A, C, Good.
Yeah, so the bass is supplied. Good. And maybe we want to keep that line going so we can have a tenor part in there too. We want it complete. Good. We've left out the passing tone. Next measure, you've got a new bass note, and so I need to know if that's the bass, what are the soprano and the alto doing? Well, I think we need to show the resolution here. See what I'm doing there? The soprano is going to have to resolve, and then this next thing is going to be a pickup, kind of anticipating the change over here. So to make it real simple, I'm just going to get rid of that D toward the end of the measure and go, okay, yeah, I know where he's going. He's anticipating that note. But he's first got to resolve the C, since it's a chordal 7, D, F sharp, A, C. It's got to come down, so it'll go here. Now, you see how this is compound melody then. Almost any melody is compound melody, really, if it's complex at all. Compound means that you've got multiple things and you put them together into one, right? That's what a compound is. If you've got atoms, you put them together and you create something, a bunch of carbon atoms, and pretty soon you got our bodies. You get complex things out of small little bits. And what we're doing here is we're saying, okay, one note per bass here. I'm just finding, for every bass note, I'm finding a soprano note and an alto note, and more if I can. And this melody, what it does is it takes notes from several, maybe just 2, maybe 3 of those. It draws on those melodies, and from that, those different voice-leading strands creates a single melody that's sort of bopping between them, moving between these implied parts. That's one way to think of it. So here, do you see what we're doing now? Here we were thinking about how melody helps drive the harmony. Melody, harmony, interaction. Here we're saying, you know what? Some of these things that people give harmonic labels to, like cadential 6/4s, are actually the result of counterpoint, of melody doing fancy rhythmic things. And now we're saying, hey, wait a minute, some of the melody is actually because you're playing around with the harmonies, which is exactly the reverse of what we were just doing before. You see what I'm doing? I'm just playing with this idea of who's in charge, harmony or melody? And you can view it, you know, whichever way you want to look at it. Here we're saying, yeah, those are melodies, but this melody, the vocal tune here, is drawn from the harmony. Just picking voices out of that very simple harmonic progression. Okay, so now I'm going to give you some examples where you can just try this out. But first, let's take a little break. I need